My world that I want to have a little pride in. My world, and it's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can say I am what I am.
Yeah. No.
Early morning for such festivities. See, it's a non-alcoholic morning anyway, so we're all going back to work. Lord Mayor, Councillors, Deputy Chief Executive Brendan Carr, our colleagues in Dublin City Council, and our guests from all the different organisations across the city and beyond. It's a pleasure to welcome you here this morning to launch our LGBT Employee Inclusion Strategy. It's a very important day for us, as it marks in a very public way that our employees matter to us, and that's all our employees. Our employees, regardless of race, creed, gender, sexual orientation, all play an important part in Dublin City Council. And it's vital that all those staff, and indeed our elected representatives and everybody else, are allowed to be themselves at work. We're particularly thankful to the Lord Mayor and the councillors present today for showing leadership and support to us in this endeavour. We thank them very much for their attendance here today. It's a fundamental obligation of our organisation to treat each and every staff member with dignity and respect, and to ensure that we have policies in place for how our staff interact with each other, and that the sentiments and goals of these policies become part of our everyday working life. We need to ensure that diversity and inclusion matters for all our employees, including lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender colleagues. This is everybody's responsibility, but particular responsibility lies with those in positions of leadership and influence. Equality and diversity is fundamental to the human integrity of our employees and how we perform our functions and deliver our services. The City Council recognises that each person has unique strengths. By embracing those strengths, we help to deliver high performance together. It's difficult for employees to deliver exceptional services or realise personal potential if they're obliged to leave part of themselves behind when they come to work. While the Council has a good track record in addressing equality and diversity issues, unfortunately this has not always been the experience of our LGBT colleagues, and we apologise for that. Our challenge is to ensure that our policies and procedures are as relevant and as robust as possible, and that they should be understood by everybody. An employee should not be discriminated against on the grounds of age, race, religion, gender, civil status, family status, disability, membership of the travelling community, or sexual orientation. Over the years we've tried to embrace this concept, and we've put dedicated resources working in this area. We are extremely lucky at present to have a very talented and dedicated equality officer, Dennis Casey, ably assisted by Louise Norton. They're extremely committed in this area and do everything possible to help and advise staff. I'd like to publicly thank them. We also have staff in our employee assistance area. We have Laura, Lacra and Donald, who again provide huge support to each and every member of the staff and contribute greatly to the well-being. And again, I'd like to formally recognise their role. Human and civil rights for lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender colleagues have been hard-won over many decades. It is important not to take these rights for granted. We have received great advice and assistance, and probably annoyance at some time, from our lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender staff member. I would like to acknowledge the work and dedication of Martina, Ed, Anthony, Jenny, Maria and Hugh. They've taken it upon themselves to make Dublin City Council a better place to work, not alone for their LGBT colleagues, but frankly for all of us. My sincere thanks to them. We will continue to develop and implement policies and procedures to make inclusion real. As part of that process, the City Council has adopted its LGBT Employee Inclusion Strategy with 3 objectives, namely to facilitate the promotion of LGBT visibility within DCC, to promote and strengthen LGBT inclusion within the Council, and to provide education and awareness training on LGBT related issues. This inclusion strategy has associated actions to make those 3 objectives happen. And to do that, DCC will continue to work with key players, including the LGBT staff network. It's so important that prejudice, intolerance and any form of discrimination that may have occurred are consigned to the past. This document provides a pathway to a bright, open and inclusive future for DCC staff, where people can literally be themselves, which will make DCC truly a great place to work. I'd now like to hand you over to the Lord Mayor to formally launch this policy and to say a few words. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gerry. You say a few words. I think you covered every word that was going to say. So
That's what I went for.
I'm not going to say it again. Other than, I just want to first acknowledge the presence of my Councillor Ryan, Councillor Gerry Geraghty, Councillor Dermot Lacey, and Kieran Cuff. And thank you all for coming here this evening. And again, I also want to acknowledge the presence of the Assistant Chief Executive, Brendan Carr, who apologised as a part of this role. When we heard about the launch of this inclusive strategy, we were very anxious that we were going to launch it here at the Mansion House. There was a reason for that. The people of Dublin own this house, and the people of Dublin have made it very clear time and time again that we are an inclusive, welcoming, acceptance and tolerant people. And that it has to transfer itself into Dublin City Council as well. I can speak on behalf, I'm sure, of the 63 councillors, that everyone is fully supportive and thankful of the management in DCC for initiating this particular role. As a trade unionist, I have time and time again faced intolerance in the workplace, prejudice. I've represented employees who have been really stressed out, for want of a better word, from the manner in which their fellow employees treated them because they didn't fully understand them. So I know the challenges that face a minority of people, or people who feel they're a minority, a group of people, and when they feel isolated and when they feel excluded from the mainstream, either in society or in the workplace. And where we've initiated legislation and adopted legislation to address many of the concerns which is raised to us, legislation will never do away with prejudice. It only disguises it. I think the only way we're going to, and Gerry addressed this earlier on, only way we're going to once and for all eradicate any kind of prejudice in the workplace is through knowledge, is through education, is through people fully understanding and people being tolerant. And policies, which is like what's been drawn up by DCC here, is a start and step to actually try and achieve that. I want to thank everyone who initiated that, who worked on it. We also say time and time again, the people who are affected by certain issues in society or in the workplace are the people who know mainly how to fix them, because they know what's causing them. And where I welcome this particular strategy that DCC drew up is that they included people who were affected or felt affected by being part of the LGBT community, and they brought them on board to get involved in this. So it wasn't someone dictating to people how to fix a problem. They asked the people, and they brought that on board. And I just asked Brendan if he listened to the councillors more often for the similar strategy. I'd be very happy as well. But at the end of the day, this is really about every employee being able to come into the workplace, being able to fill their full potential, being happy to do it, and go home and not feel different than anyone else doing it. And I think a lot of companies and organisations around the country, around the city, have an awful lot to learn from the City Council in this. I want to congratulate you and everyone involved in it. I wish you all the best in addressing any other issues that come up within Dublin City Council. And as I say, myself as Lord Mayor and all the councillors are fully behind us, fully supportive of it. And if there's anything we can do to assist you in doing away with tolerance in the workplace, we certainly have to do it. Once again, thanks very much.
Thanks, Lord Mayor. Once again, thanks for your support in this and the support of the councillors here. Now, as the Lord Mayor said, we did this in conjunction with the LGBT network. Now, maybe that's us taking a little bit too much of the credit, because to be quite fair, an awful lot of the work was done by them. One of the main drivers of that obviously is our chair of the LGBT network, who also is a member of our HR staff. So I'll hand you over to Martina to say a few words. Thank you very much.
Lord Mayor, Councillors, Deputy Chief, lesbians, gays, bisexuals and transgender, good morning gays. I'm delighted to be here and I was going to say a few words about how wonderful our LGBT strategy is and how much we're looking forward to implementing it and all of that. But when I was coming up here this morning, the only image I had in my head was of the Pride March in 1993. And that's what it was in 1993, it was a march, it wasn't a parade, and it certainly hadn't anything like the numbers that it has now. There was nothing as lofty as a Grand Marshal, there was no floats, and there was very little noise actually, which is unusual for a bunch of gays when they get together. But we did walk quite quietly from Parnell Square and straight through the city, tolerating abuse, stones, eggs, spinal lashing, until we came down past the Mansion House here where we are this morning, down through Dawson Street. And when we got to Dawson Street, we paused for just a couple of minutes because one of Brendan's predecessors, the then Lord Mayor, Tomás McGuilla, with his Lord Mayor's chain, walked from the front of the Mansion House over to the parade, which stopped for a few minutes, and he stopped to shake some of our hand. And every one of us there that day on that parade loved him for it. And what I'm trying to convey to you is that only 24 years ago, and almost 24 years ago to the month, i.e. June 1993, that was the level of pathetic and the level of tragic that it was to be gay in this country. That an elected public representative could make a very bold, brave political statement by shaking hands with a few gay men and a few lesbians. And I think, I may be mistaken, but I think if memory serves, with the exception of myself, there wasn't anybody employed in Dublin City Council who was on the march that day. Because in June, up until June 1993, gay men were criminals, lesbians didn't exist, bisexuals didn't exist, and transgender people didn't exist. Here we all are. And what we were doing that year and for a number of years before that was creating a community, because we didn't really have any sense of continuity as a community, we didn't have any sense of tradition as a community, and to do that we had to gather ourselves together. We didn't even know how to communicate with one another properly. We created what has become a very vibrant, diverse and wonderful LGBT family that we are today. And we have done that by having various parallel relationships with the City Council when it was the corporation, because we did that by engaging, by mixing and socialising and creating our community in buildings that the corporation, as it was at the time, should probably have demolished, never mind condemned. And I know one of the buildings actually demolished itself by going on fire in the middle of a gay disco, sending a whole load of flaming queens on their very high heels into the arms of the men and women of Dublin Fire Brigade, rackets, not all of them straight. And the thing about it is, for the first 20 of the last 24 years, the gays, lesbians, bisexuals and transgender people employed in the City Council have lived a very closeted and quiet life. We didn't bring any of that drama back to the workplace. We didn't say how we were getting on. In fact, if we did bump into one another at any of these social events, we avoided one another, or let on we didn't know one another when we went back to work. And that is pretty much the way it was up until about 4 years ago, when myself and another colleague from Dublin Public Libraries formed the LGBT network today, so that there was about 5,500 people currently employed in Dublin City Council, and up until 4 years ago, 2 lesbians, apparently. Well, that's not quite true. There's a number of people on our network. The network has got bigger, and there's a lot of hard work that has gone into producing this document, and a lot of hard work goes on. Our steering committee meets once a month and has done so every month for the last 4 years. We've engaged with the senior management and the Equality Office, both Louise and Dennis in the Equality Office, who have provided no end of support and guidance, particularly Gerry Geraghty. One of the big things for us, and it has always been for us, is our visibility and promoting our visibility, and that's why we have put such emphasis on that in the document. And I think people like our Chief Executive, Owen Keegan, got that, as did the Equality Officer Dennis Casey, when they joined us for Pride on a number of occasions. Because what the Chief Executive was effectively doing was saying that it was okay to be seen to support your gay colleagues. And we're very grateful to him for that, and we're very grateful to the senior management, particularly Mary Pine, Gerry Geraghty, Padraig Cochran, Vincent Healy, Michelle Robinson and others. But I think a huge thanks has to go to both Dennis Casey and Louise Norton in the Equality Office. And I would like to thank my colleagues on the steering committee, Anthony, Ed, Jenny and Maria, for all their patience and hard work. I'd like to thank you all for coming. I don't have anything much to say because we will be implementing that plan. Dennis knows I'm a lawyer. And I'll be on his case if these things don't happen. But thank you very much.
Thanks, Martina. Gareth, we picked out one of your parks. What's flower here? Were they running out of a park now? Listen, that's the end of the formalities. I can never imagine Martin being quiet and withdrawn, but I'll take her word for it. As I say, enjoy the festivities, enjoy a few drinks again. Thanks to the Lord Mayor, thanks to the councillors, thanks very much to the Mansion House and the staff for hosting this. It's a beautiful building. Thanks for Brendan to take time out of his busy schedule to support us as well. Enjoy your morning, and as I say, this policy is for real. It's not something that's going to sit in the shelf, it's something that we will implement, and we look forward in the next couple of years to make Dublin City Council right next to everyone. Okay, thanks very much.
It's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can say